Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Northbeam's webinar with TikTok. We're going to be diving into our newest attribution model, Clicks and Views Enhanced, and hear about the latest and greatest about TikTok from the team itself. What we're going to show today is not just an integration, it's a shift in how we measure performance, especially on platforms like TikTok where views matter as much, if not more, than clicks. Before we get into it, I want to do a quick round of introductions. I'm Zach Sherrod. I lead the partnerships team here at Northbeam. That means I get to work closely with the team at TikTok and help shape how we collaborate to better serve our customers. Today, I'm joined by Mohit Arora, who is also sporting a great mustache himself, who I'll bring in shortly to talk more about what makes TikTok such a unique platform for growth. Mohit, would you like to do a quick round of intro for the team?
Yes, thanks, Zach. Thanks, Zach. Excited to be here. I'm Mohit. I'm the Global Product Marketing Manager for third-party measurement solutions at TikTok. And pleasure to be here and speak about all the excited stuff we are building for advertisers.
Awesome stuff. So happy to have you, man. Before we dig into the integration itself, I want to give a quick overview of Northbeam. So just to level set on who Northbeam and what we do here, we're a marketing intelligence platform powering attribution and media mix modeling for over 800 of the fastest growing direct consumer brands. We combined multi-touch attribution and marketing mix modeling in a single platform so brands can understand exactly what's driving revenue and where to invest next. If you're running media across paid, owned, or even organic channels, we help you make those dollars work smarter. So now to get into the real point of the webinar here. So let's talk TikTok. This platform has become one of the fastest growing engines for D2C brands, and performance marketers have been following the channel very closely. Many of our key customers have been leaning in very heavily as a top performance channel. We've seen brand after brand driving tons of engagement and eventual conversions. Mohit, what's your take on how marketers should view this channel today?
For sure. I mean, TikTok is the leading destination for short-form mobile video, right? Our mission is to inspire creativity and bring joy. Every day, 1 billion users come to TikTok to get entertained, to get educated, to learn about so many products, and of course, to shop, right? And combined with that, the performance ad solutions that we have, which allow brands to measure the true impact of and the full impact of their investments on TikTok. And what we see, our user base is prime for commerce. What we have seen traditionally, 92% of our users take action after being exposed to our content here. And what we see, they always say that the content here is unique. Apparently 68% of our TikTok users saying the platform, the content that they see on TikTok is something unique which they do not see other or elsewhere. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Great context there. And then we all know that TikTok isn't like other platforms. Users don't always click through in the moment. They might see an ad, browse later, purchase on another device, or come back through another channel entirely. This is why relying on click-only measurement underrepresents TikTok's influence and why we at Northbeam have invested so heavily in unlocking this new level of view-through attribution. You're going to hear us say this a lot today. If you're not counting impressions, you're missing the majority of what's driving conversions on TikTok. Mohit, I want to ask you, what's your take on this?
100%. I mean, TikTok is a highly engaging platform. What we see is users are engrossed in the stream of content and they might delay their purchase journey, but that doesn't mean they're not making a purchase, right? And like you said, the users are getting exposed to multiple devices and platforms on a daily basis. The customer journey is getting complex as we speak. And traditionally, what we see, marketers have relied on the last click attribution, which might not measure the true impact of a channel which is driving the purchase. That is why we always recommend advertisers to move beyond clicks and always leverage the power of views and impression because they do lead to a purchase and that essentially will give advertisers the true impact or the true visibility into the campaign decisions or the decisions that they can take and make smarter decisions which will for sure grow their marketing investments and their marketing dollars.
Yep, super interesting stuff. It's surprising to us seeing how many brands today are still optimizing on a last click basis, let alone just click-based attribution. So I think we're in for a real treat here with some of the great updates here. So now to get into our new integration here. So what is Clicks and Views Enhanced? It's a new attribution model inside Northbeam that ingests TikTok impression data and assigns deterministic credit for revenue when we see a match. To be clear, Northbeam has had an integration with TikTok for years, supporting multi and single touch click-based attribution, creative analytics, and so on. This integration takes things a big step deeper. We layer that those views with clicks, orders, and our indefinite look back window to give you a full picture. So instead of TikTok getting credit for only when someone clicks, you can now see the true influence impressions had on revenue across multiple devices, over days, and even across other channels. This has fundamentally changed how some of our brands invest in TikTok.
Right.
And did you want to hop in with anything there, Mohit?
No, of course, when you were talking about the brands, I think you should mention about Build Basic. I think that's a great case study we got there. What we saw with the Clicks Plus enhanced view model, they took some smarter decisions. In the last Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they saw 54% year-on-year increased spend, and with the Clicks Plus enhanced view, they gained better visibility into the number of new customer acquisition. Essentially, that grew by 44%, and all this visibility was only enabled by the Clicks Plus enhanced view model that Northbeam and TikTok are introduced into the market.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, the Build Basics is a great case study that we had posted previously with the TikTok team. So if you want to dig into that, we can attach that in the notes below. So now let's talk about some practical tips after we've gone over the actual attribution model itself. Mohit, how do you set up a brand to win on TikTok? This isn't just about data, it's about creative conversion signals and feedback loops. So Mohit, walk us through TikTok's framework here. What should brands be focusing on to maximize performance?
For sure. Essentially, we recommend this three-pronged framework, which is fuel, build, and automate, right? To any system to run, it needs some input. And for your low funnel purchase campaigns, we always advise advertisers to have all their pixels setups in place, have their events API in place, ensure that the events are deduplicated, they have enabled the advanced matching, because the more system knows about this entire inputs, it will be better able to optimize for your campaigns. Once you have fueled the input system, we advise them to start building. Start small, achieve a certain level of stability, because we always advise advertisers or campaigns to have at least 50 conversions. It's when we pass the learning phase. Once that is achieved, the system has a better sense of your campaign audiences, your targeting, your creative, what's working for you. And then we essentially advise advertisers to make any change after that, not before that, if they want to. But this actually what it does is the build framework helps advertisers reach to a baseline for their campaigns and what to expect and start building on top of it. The third pillar, which is the automate pillar, because once there are so many campaigns in a market you can run on a daily basis, right? We always advise them to get more efficient in terms of campaign setup, leverage our products like Smart Plus, which essentially does away with a ton of manual labor which is required in terms of setting up the campaigns, setting up the creatives, etc., etc. And we are seeing that Smart Plus campaigns are performing better in many cases than the manual campaigns that the advertisers are setting up, right? Once this is done, leverage the first party measurement solutions. We have a great tool called as Attribution Analytics, which give advertisers a visibility into how many conversions they would be getting if they extend the attribution window from 1 day to, let's say, 7 day to 14 day or to 28 days, which essentially becomes a major decision making tool for advertiser into the path to journey, path to purchase or a customer journey, and the consideration windows, which gives advertiser a visibility of what's the delay time between how my user base is converting for my product. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So after brands have been set up for success with the fuel, build, and automate framework, when do you think brands can begin really seeing success on TikTok as well as using the model itself?
Yeah. So once the integration goes live for an advertiser, the TikTok Northbeam integration goes live, it should be in place for like 2 or 3 days it takes to get the integration set up. It requires minimal effort from the advertiser side. Essentially, advertiser can reach out to their Northbeam rep to request for the integration, and a new model will start getting visible into their UI. Right. Once that is done, we advise advertisers to wait for 30 days once the entire integration is stabilized, though the data will be appearing once the integration goes live, but we advise them to wait for 30 days before they can make any campaign or performance or spend related decisions based on the data, because we want it to be stabilized before they can start doing that stuff.
Super helpful. Thanks so much for the tips, Mohit. Now I want to give you guys a real example of a real client that actually have seen success using this model. So one of our key clients, Olakai, is an amazing shoe brand, flip-flop brand that's been around for a while. They've been active on TikTok for years, and they had a hunch that they were not seeing the true value of performance show up in Northbeam's click-based attributions. So they had some hesitation on fully scaling the channel, even though they had a hunch that as they increased spend, they saw an increase in performance. They activated as one of our early beta testers for this clicks and views enhanced model and saw a 316% lift in attributed revenue. They saw ROAS increase from a 433% increase by incorporating this impression data. And suddenly TikTok became one of their highest performing platforms. Additionally, TikTok isn't just about driving revenue, and this model isn't just about identifying more revenue that is currently already happening today. We also want to help identify net new customers. I'd say broadly speaking, 95% of customers at Northbeam are hyper-focused on acquiring net new customers. And this model also highlighted that TikTok was actually driving a 12.9% increase compared to our click-based attribution in new customer percentage, proving that this isn't just a revenue driver, it's actually driving net new acquisitions. Anything that you want to add in terms of the value of some of these stats, Mohit?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Zach, we are very excited. There are other stories as well, what we are hearing, the brands live, how brands are leveraging this integration. Essentially, they were always having the model, the attribution model that Northbeam gives visibility to the advertiser, but with this extra integration that you and your Northbeam and TikTok have built, now they can go beyond what was always possible, and they can get better visibility into the metrics which they can keep track of in terms of customer acquisition, the number of transactions, number of new customers, and the ROAS and the CPA that they care about, and they can make smarter decisions.
Awesome stuff. And then to recap the webinar, I want to leave it up to you, Mohit. If there was anything that we missed or anything that you wanted to recap, now's your time to shine.
For sure. I don't think we missed out on anything, but I would just make a quick recap here. TikTok is a very powerful platform. I mean, we hear it from the advertisers all the time. Hey, we know that the TikTok is driving conversions, but is there a way for us to prove it with high confidence? But I think what Northbeam and TikTok have done here, we have come up with this innovative solution to give advertisers that visibility, right? Because let's face it, uh, it's not a simple click and buy scenario anymore, right? Views do matter. And with this integration, Northbeam has ensured that the power of views translates into measurable outcomes, which are data driven and data backed, which helps advertisers to take better decisions and not just restrict them to the last click attribution, because the reality is very different, right? I mean, it's like I said, when was the last time you just bought a product within like 5 seconds of me watching an ad, right? So what happens to those scenarios where you are aware of the brand name, but you didn't make a purchase immediately, but let's say you made a purchase 1 day later or 2 days later, and you search for the product and you made the purchase, right? So with this integration, advertisers will have visibility into those conversions, which essentially give them better visibility, enabling better and smarter decision making.
That's great, Mohit. Thanks so much for the insightful session. We look forward to advertisers leveraging our clicks and views enhanced integration to make smarter decisions. Feel free to reach out directly to our team. This model is live and you can actively use it today, or feel free to book a demo with our team to learn more about Northbeam as a whole. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.